My goal at the time was get me off of this farm. I often jokingly tell people that I made good grades in school because I knew that was my way out. We're here at the Catawba Trail Farm, which is a dream that has taken us about 8 years to bring to this limit that we are. The organization was founded along with my sister, Lucille Patterson. We were raised actually on a truck farm. Back in the day, that's what they called a vegetable farm. So we worked year-round on this vegetable farm, growing everything you can think of and then some. Once I got off the farm, it seemed like the farm didn't get out of me, because everywhere I went, I always had a garden. Not necessarily a vegetable garden now, but a garden. And then coming back to the East Coast, I connected with North Carolina Cooperative Extension here in Durham, and that started me back into the agricultural field. Durham County created what they call a community outreach coordinator, the first time they created it. So I applied for that position and I got it. Once I acquired my master's, got more back into farming because I wanted to teach people how to do for themselves, I applied for and got the position of County Extension Director. So after the retirement of Cheryl Lloyd LeMay, I was hired as the Durham County Extension Director, and that began my real future. Prior to retire in 2016, I decided, I was a little bit too young just to sit at home. So that year, I created the nonprofit, which is called UCAN, Urban Community AgriNomics. I want to teach people to do for themselves, but I need some land. Do you have any land that I can use? I'm not asking you to give it to me. I just want access to it. That's all I want. And what I'm going to do is build a community garden, and we're going to teach people how to grow their own food. Because it's one thing to give to people. And if you constantly give to people and all you do is give, what happens when you leave? You left them worse off in many ways than the way that you found them, because they became dependent on you. So I don't want people to be dependent on me. I want them to know how to do for themselves. And they gave me access to this property now that we're currently on. When we walked out here, the buildings were all hanging off they were raggedy, if I could use that term. It was fallen trees, grass as high as I am or as tall as I am. The place had not been anything done to it in over 70 years. But I tell you honestly, when I walked on this property, I said, okay, this is it. This is perfect. I love this. This is where I want to be. Now, I would tell you, when I walked on this property, there was such a feeling of being at home. I did not realize at the time that this is actually a plantation. And now I realize the feeling that I had, because it was almost like my ancestors were saying to me, what took you so long? When I saw the land, my vision was really just a community garden. I'll be honest with you. At the time, the city said, well, you need a site plan in order to build your garden. And it's like, a site plan? I have $250 in the bank. A site plan costs you a minimum of $5,000, okay? So what I did was went back to the county because I knew more people in the county, and I let them know what it was that we wanted to do. And they said, you're not building houses, you're just creating a farm, do it on our side. And that put us on the side with all the buildings, which I say God works in mysterious ways, because that then required that we look at these buildings and see, could we save any of them? And it was perfect, because had we actually started on the opposite side, which is nothing but new growth trees, we probably would have never come over here. And these poor buildings would have continued to deteriorate. We actually created the 47 raised bed garden, and I'm honored to say that this is the third year that garden is 100% maintained by residents of Durham County. The other thing that we've done is actually created a youth garden. So that has 12 raised garden beds in it, and we're teaching our youth how to grow. That's part of the research they'll be doing. What do you want to grow in here? Why do you want to grow it? What's that bug? How do we take care of it? What is companion planting? All of those things. How can we naturally deter pests? We also have in that area what is a small hugelcultural garden, which is a no-till garden. So we have that. Chickens, ducks, and bees. Actually, we're starting back up our apiary program this year. Last year was the first time we harvested honey. It was good. It flew off the shelves, if I might say so. But we're increasing that to now to have 10 beehives is what we will be doing. We got the high tunnel by submitting an application to the EQIP program, which is a USDA NRCS program. And the reason we really pushed that is because with all our raised garden beds taken up by our citizens, all of our youth beds is taken up by our youth and our educating youth. We had no other place to grow any vegetables for us to continue to give to the community and or to sell some to support our sales. That high tunnel allows us to grow year-round. We have to concentrate less on grass and invasive seeds, all those things. And it should have even less pests. And then the other part about it is, remember, I look at this farm as more of an educational farm. So now we have different aspects of agriculture to teach people. We're teaching you how to grow and raise beds, but now we're teaching you how to do regenerative gardening with the hugelkultur. But now we're teaching you how to grow in a high tunnel, which is even a little bit more modern, as my mother-in-law used to say. So it's wonderful to have it. In the future, this will be, actually, dream is for this to be a community agriculture center. We're going to teach people then to grow the old-fashioned way, and that is directly in the ground. Because, to create a raised bed, you got to have money. Okay. The other thing that we're hoping to start, and it's a difficult path, but to start a returning citizen program and see if we can help them, if you're interested in it, to learn all the best practices of agriculture, how to do a business plan, how to do a CSA, what is organic farming, what does it take to make a living out of it? Because most individuals who are from Durham come back to Durham, and how to create your own self-worth and your values as far as you're concerned, and as far as your community is concerned, as far as your family is concerned. And then the other part about it is because we're finding now that more conservation organizations, it's kind of like a light bulb has come on. They realize that much of the land that they're conserving used to be agricultural land. So why not, if you're all about climate control, let's reduce our carbon footprint from shipping goods all over the state, all over everywhere. And if we're really sincere about reducing food insecurity, let's give people access to some of this land. We're not asking you to give the whole pie, but give a slice of that pie to people so that they can learn and do for themselves. Again, it's all about building resilience is what I'm looking at.